Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? So, we have a relatively interesting episode of Feta Zero, and just what the series is probably going to be giving us towards the end here, which looks like we're getting closer and closer to that end-all be-all battle, so I'm interested in seeing where, you know, not only what the power levels are going to be like in the case of, excuse me, first time I'm talking, what the power level is going to be for, these battles in the case of, we know a lot of these people are ridiculously powerful and that some of them probably would not be capable of losing to certain like types of people, but because of the enemies they're going against, it's kind of obvious that they are going to be going against people that definitely have the potential to take out, high class, strong, ridiculous people. And then you have the fact that they're all kind of just in this position where they're just going to continuously be able to, gun each other down in the case of see who buckles first. And as of right now, I'm pretty excited to see Gilgamesh like go all out. But at the same time, it also feels like he doesn't need to go all out just because of um, how things are unfolding. Not only do like some of these characters feel like they're kind of like being smart and not really going against him, like they don't really seem like they want to absolutely go after Lord Gilgamesh and try to just take him out. They're more or less trying to just take everything out as a whole, and he's just a part of it, right? Like, he's a bonus. If they kill him, it's cool, but if they can't, they're just going to try to take him out any way, shape, or form, which even sending him to the underworld, he still had, like, a way of being able to control or at least still being able to fight, not being caged, his soul not being caged up, and him not turning into just a soul. All of these things are pretty telling of how ridiculous Gilgamesh is. And not only that, we find out it's like his third time being dead, like it's his third time visiting the underworld. So it kind of gives you more perspective on just how he's feeling about all this happening. He's kind of like, I've been here, done this. Like, this is happening again? Dang, that sucks. So, Gilgamesh has always been one of my favorite characters since Fate Zero. And to think that he is playing such a big role in this show has me super excited just to know that there's probably a world for Gilgamesh in the case of always people wanting to see him, always people always wanting to hear about his storylines and stuff like that. So I'm really glad that his character is like that. But for the rest of the episode, seeing Gilgamesh and everybody kind of fight against the goddess of the underworld, and then seeing her almost seemingly get split in half, but she really didn't. We finally get to see what Mash is capable of in the situation of her defense and just like how much she can actually bring to the table. Oh my god, that was a lot of damage. But at the end of the day, it seems like this attack is not, or her defensive Lord Camelot is not going to save her from the person that we saw attacking when she pretty much spared everybody. I do not see the attack or the defense she did stopping all of that, right? I mean, she could try it, but I really just don't see it happening. And that's where it kind of like starts to boil down, like the problem of just them having to deal with these powerful like deities is just the fact of when or how do you beat these people who clearly may have more power than you can, even imagine at the moment. So it's those types of things that keep me pretty excited as a whole for this show, like I was saying, because they're just putting out narratives for these characters to shine, and um, Mash shined the hardest this week, right? Like she completely stole the show with just her ability and holding off this ridiculously powerful version of an attack that was already shown to be able to hold off Gigamesh's like light weapons or whatever you want to call them. But to be able to take those attacks and then you go against Mash's shield and you can't break through it, it kind of goes to show you how much power or how much defense Mash actually has, which was a good part of the show in the case of we never really had a good idea what she was going to bring to the table. But now that we kind of have an understanding of what it's going to be, um, it's nice to see. At least like she's not going to be useless at the end of the day. She's going to have something to contribute, even if it is in the defense department. Um, I still think that regardless of how or what you bring to the table, as long as it feels real, like satisfying, or feels like they're actually trying to make it better than not, you gotta respect it. But like I was saying, as a whole, the show is really kind of, I think, hit or miss for a lot of people from what I'm hearing. Like, a lot of stuff is just not being explained fully, so if you have no idea what some of these characters are about or what some of these characters' goals are, you're kind of just left to guess, right? Like, you kind of have no idea what's going on, and I think that's been a continuous theme throughout the show, with some things happening for no reason seemingly, and then some things happening randomly and not giving us too much explanation as to why that's happening, why it's important, stuff like that. It just kind of happens. But regardless, I think we're in good hands at the end of the day, because not only did this animation look absolutely fire, but we got to see just what it's gonna look like when we have all of these goddesses on our team, and maybe the king, or what is his name? The guy who actually, scares our main character, and our main character is really looking forward to beating out of all of this. Maybe that guy is going to show up and completely change how the goddess um, alliance doesn't even really need anybody else besides him joining up because of the strength he possesses. So those are the types of things I'm wondering is gonna pop off, or if it's just going to be something that was brought up and it's something that's haunting the main character, but it's not something he has to deal with as of right now in this time of being here. So overall, though, uh, so many people on our alliance, there has to be some type of powerful thing on the other side, right? Like, we can't just have our side be the strongest of the strong for whatever reason, and then have no challenge at all. That wouldn't be. I don't think the show would be that much of a struggle or that much of a like good ending if everybody just joins up, tries to beat the queen, and then they beat the queen. Like, who wants to watch that? I mean, just in the grand scheme of it being basic and so simple mental, that if that is the case, it's kind of easy out, right? Like, anybody can call that a mile away. It's like, oh, they're probably going to team up and they're probably going to win, because if they lose, humanity cease to exist. But if they win, humanity lives for a little bit longer. So I think they kind of have to win, right? And if not, they're gonna be out of here. But yeah, regardless, think we're I think we're getting some pretty hype stuff with this show. I just definitely feel like if you aren't in the know of everything that goes on behind closed doors throughout this whole entire like Fate series and with Gilgamesh, with all these different characters that have a lot of backstory already been told through the video game and probably through like reading stuff like manga or light novels or something like that. I feel like there's a lot of stuff out there for these characters that just haven't been animated necessarily. So, with all that being said, I'm really curious of just how this is all going to play out in the end. It's been relatively interesting, and I've been intrigued throughout the whole thing, but the fact of the matter is who and what is going to be the end all be all when it comes down to defeating this woman that they clearly couldn't defeat already when they first got a chance at going at her. So, what's going to change? What's going to be the thing that they can do to actually get a leg up on this battle? So, all that being said, everybody, I hope you have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I definitely will be talking to you sooner than later because I got some more stuff I definitely want to get out to you. So with that, look out for that if you want more from me, and if not, just take care and have a good one. So with all that being said, later.